children, welcome to English class. This is Learn English Easily channel, and today we are going to study the poem on killing a tree. This has been written by G. Patel. This poem is from class 9th Beehive book. So you can see that a man is trying to cut the tree. So let us study what's there in the poem. First of all, about the poet. G. Patel was born in 1940. He is a poet and playwright. He is a medical practitioner by profession. He was educated at St. Xavier High School and Grant Medical College, Bombay. His poems are unspectacular takeoffs on the Indian scene, on which he comments with fastidiousness. He gives very minute detail in the Frostian style. In 1984, he was awarded Woodrow Wilson Fellowship to the Smithsonian Institute, Washington, D.C., to write a play, Mr. Barham. Some of his famous poems are On Killing a Tree, Servants, Nuryal Purnima, Nargal, On My Own Cadaver, and Commerce. Introduction to the lesson. The poet sensitizes the reader and highlights the fact that trees are living things. He equates trees with humans to convey that trees should not be cut because destroying tree is just like killing a human being. A tree does not die by merely cutting because it regrows from where it is cut. If it has to be destroyed, then it has to be uprooted. So this is what's the introduction about the lesson. What is the central idea of the poem? In this poem, there is a beautiful ironic statement written by the poet about killing a tree. Actually, he means its opposite. He taunts how trees are to be killed, but they must not. He further says that a tree is hard to kill with the knife. The tree takes years to grow from the earth. He says that to kill a tree, its roots must be pulled out entirely from the soil. This poem also conveys a message that the trees are lifeline, so they must not be killed. I hope you understand that the trees are our lifeline and they must not be killed. He instructs how a tree is killed. He gives out the message that trees are something pious and like human beings. He conveys that the tree is very deep rooted and cannot be wiped out easily. He indicates and compares it with the evil, which also deep rooted in the surroundings and cannot be uprooted so easily without changing the environment. So there is an ironic statement. He doesn't want the trees to be killed or cut down, but at the same time he says that he taunts that the people do it, and but they cannot do it with the help of a knife only. It takes a lot of time for the tree to grow in the same way to be killed also. So theme of the poem now we are going to study. The poet considers the tree as a living organism. According to poet, it has the right to live like any other creatures, but the man is killing it without thinking and with utmost cruelty and callousness. This poem indirectly gives out a strong idea that trees are a lifeline, so they must not be killed. The poet instructs how tree is killed, but actually he means it opposite, as I've just told you. And he has also conveys the message that it must be uprooted completely if anybody wants to destroy the tree. He cannot do it just by using the knife and only the jab of a knife. Only on stating this, the poet taunts the people cutting the trees. The message in the end is that trees are something pious and like human beings, they are precious and they must not be cut. The poet also conveys that the tree is deep rooted and cannot be removed easily. He compared it with the evils which he thinks are deep rooted and cannot be removed easily. Now we are moving towards the poem and explanation. So you can see in this stanza, first of all, we are going to read the first stanza. You can see it takes much time to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown slowly, consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprous hide, sprouting leaves. So, first of all, we will deal with the word meanings of some unfamiliar words. Jab, it means sudden, rough blow, and leprosite, that means discolored bark of the tree. So the stanza here means a simple cut does not destroy a tree. A tree grows slowly, gradually. It is rooted in the soil. A plant takes nutrition from the soil to grow into a big tree. The tree is firmly bound with the soil. It takes in sunlight, water, air to grow, and it gets a strong trunk also and a number of leaves which are green and which sprout easily. So this is the explanation of the first stanza. Now you can see that how the people are trying to cut the tree, but it's too strong. The leaves are there, the green and fresh leaves, a lot of branches, and its trunk is too strong that it cannot be cut so easily. Even we need a number of people to get it destroyed. Now the second stanza is like this. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs, miniature boughs, which, if unchecked, will expand again to former size. So, first of all, let us again deal with some of the word meanings. First is hack, which means cut roughly by striking heavy blows. Another is unchecked, not checked or controlled. And miniature boughs means very small branches. So now I am going to tell you the meaning of the second stanza. Listen carefully. I hope the meanings are clear to you. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. So humans cut and chop the bark of trees into many pieces, but that is not sufficient to destroy the tree. The point of the tree which gets cut gives out sap just like a human being bleeds. So sap is also the liquid part of its from that gets out of its trunk. Gradually means slowly, gradually this would heal and it will again regrow and new branches will start growing from it. If we don't check it, if we don't see that there is any growth of the tree again, if we want to kill the tree or cut the tree, we have to check it, otherwise it will again regrow, new branches, small branches will come out of it. You can see that how a tree has been uprooted from the soil in order to get it destroyed. Now the third stanza. No, The root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is to be roped, tied, and pulled out, snapped out, or pulled out entirely out from the earth cave, and the strength of the tree exposed. The source, white and wet, the most sensitive, hidden for years inside the earth. So let us deal with the word meanings now. Anchoring earth. So anchoring earth, you can see trees are held, securely with the help of earth. So roots are there deep under the earth, under the underground. Snapped out means chopped out, means cut off. So what does the poet want to say in this stanza? No, the root is to be pulled out. Means if anybody wants to kill the tree, then the tree should be uprooted first. It has to be uprooted. One has to separate the tree from its mother earth, which supports it. The roots of the tree bind the tree with the soil. In the pit underground, pit in the earth, from there, the most sensitive and the hidden part. So the sensitive and hidden part that keeps there for long years, that has to be detached first. The roots are white in color and they are damp with moisture that they take from the earth. So this is what we have started in this stanza. So let us move to the next. Then the matter of scorching and choking in sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. Now we are going to have the meanings. First of all, difficult words. Scorching and choking means the drying up of the tree after being uprooted. And twisting, whenever there's twist, turning, some curls are there in the branches. Withering means that gets dry. So these three, after knowing the meanings of these three words, we are moving towards the explanation of this stanza. And we can say the last stanza of this poem. So here he tells the end of the tree, that if someone wants to kill the tree, wants to destroy the tree has to work hard. He has to uproot the tree. He has to separate it from its anchoring mother, supportive mother. And then the matter of scorching and choking, and after it has been uprooted, then slowly it has to be withering. It has to be kept in the sunlight where it gets heat and dries up, and with the heat and wind, both the things, the trunk will become brown, hard, and it will twist also. It will start drying, and finally what happens, that the tree will die. And this is the irony the poet wants to share with us, that how the people are after the trees to cut them, to kill them, but it's not an easy task to kill the tree, as it's for the humans. So let us now see that how the tree has become dry, withered, and its branches are twisted. So many things have happened to the tree after getting uprooted from the earth. Now we are going to deal with literary devices. First, as the poem has no rhyme scheme, it's written in free verse. Second is enjambment. Enjambment means one sentence continues into the another 2 lines, 3 lines without any punctuation marks. That is enjambment. Okay, like nod, simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown slowly, consuming the earth. So one line comes after another line and without any punctuation marks. So here you can see that how you can see that where we have got it. So enchantment is there, slowly consuming the earth, rising out of it, and then after that there is a small pause. There is metaphor, that is indirect comparison. So leprous hide is the metaphor here, because the uneven color of the surface of the trunk of a tree is compared to the skin of a person suffering from leprosy. So leprosy is a disease, so it has been compared. So leprous hide, so who hide just like a person who is suffering from leprosy. Bleeding bark, the sap coming out of tree where it is cut is compared to the bleeding from the wound in a human's body. Again there is indirect comparison. So bleeding bark, this is called metaphor, and there are two examples of metaphor in this poem. Further is alliteration. Alliteration is called repetition of a consonant sound in two or more closely placed words, we can say. Bleeding bark, so white and wet, so these are the repetition of sound, the same sound in these words, in these phrases, and that's why this is alliteration. Repetition means when a word is repeated to lay emphasis, stress on it, like pulled out has been repeated many times. So this is repetition in this poem. Now we move to some of the questions, and I hope that you will be able to answer. Who's the poet of the poem? What does the poet mean by it takes much time to kill a tree? What type of poem is on killing a tree? How does the tree grow? Where does the irony lie in the poem on killing a tree? What does the word crust mean? And what does the term leprous hide mean? So I hope that you will be able to answer all these questions after having the listening the explanation and reading the poem. Thanks for watching this video.